everyone, I'm here on behalf of the USS Rikers Beard and the Guildhall Library in Guernsey, and we're talking to the author Robert Rankin about his work. Thank you for giving us the time this weekend.
Pleasure.
So my first question is, for people that are not as familiar with your work, far-fetched fiction, how would you describe it as your own genre?
High tension, a lot of sex, massive amounts of violence, spacing, far-fetched fiction, comedy, suburban comedy, real people in unreal situations. How would you describe it?
I'd say it's definitely humorous. I'd say quite a British sense of humour.
Yes.
Always seems to come through, and definite sci-fi and fantasy vibe comes through quite often.
Yeah.
It's a little bit maybe on the wacky side, and
in the nicest possible way.
In the nicest possible way. I don't think there's a bad way of being wacky.
No, this is the way we live our lives.
You attended an event in Guernsey a few years ago, the Guernsey Literary Festival, and you described your method and what inspired you in the past, and you said that having a mad dad was one of your inspiration. Are there any other things that you draw from in your past that maybe inspired you as a writer?
I don't know whether writers consciously think I'll use that and use that and use that. I think if you are thinking in words for a living rather than, say, doing something visual, this stuff, it just comes in somehow or other, and then it gets sorted out automatically, and then it feeds its way into what you're doing. I've never really thought, in all truth, about what I do. I mean, it just do it, and but it must come from somewhere. I think that's as good an explanation as any, really.
So you're quite a spontaneous writer rather than a planner.
Oh yeah, I can't plan. I don't know what's going to be in the second chapter until I'm writing it, because I don't want to know. I want it to be an adventure. Yeah. I have to know basically what the story's about. I have to know really how long it's going to be, and there's just the practical things of publishing. But as to how you put it together, people do it in so many different ways. I mean, people who are planning every plot thing, they have all the character lists and everything else. I couldn't work like that, because that would be to me like work, and I want to do it in a pleasurable way. I want to do it in a way, if I'm enjoying it, I hope other people will enjoy it. So it's just, I don't really think about the stuff. It should write itself if you're doing it properly, I think. My father was a carpenter, and he always said, if it's hard work, you're doing it wrong.
Right. So you've always enjoyed what you do?
Oh yeah, love it.
Do you think you could ever
Can't go back now, can I?
Would you ever do anything else? Is there anything you'd maybe started?
Well, yes. I mean, when I was at art school in the 60s, and my intention was to be an illustrator, and but the thing is that it's fun to illustrate my own books. But if I'd have taken any of these ideas up to a publisher and they didn't know who I was, and I said, look, here, I've got this idea, they would look at them and they'd go, not really quite good enough, I don't think I could compete as an illustrator, and it is a very competitive world, But it's lucky that it came around, and I found myself, thanks to my wife who encouraged me to go back to drawing because I'd given it up, to come around and start illustrating the books. It's been really, really good fun to do it. I love it. I really do.
It makes your work very easy to identify, because you've got such a defined style, and it's very fun and creative style. It's very intricate, I find, your work. So.
Have you ever heard of a book called Under the Hill, written by Aubrey Beardsley? Well, if you know of Aubrey Beardsley, he was quite a famous black and white illustrator up to about 1895 when he died. He didn't do anything after that. He went very quiet after that. But his incredibly decorative way that he drew, he wrote one book, and that is written exactly as he drew. This wonderful, flowery, marvellously descriptive, and I guess that it should be like that, and I think my drawings should be like the way I write. I think with anybody, they're bound to be. Do you think?
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that, because it's you've got that same intricacy and like slightly zany style that comes through in the art, and it tends to lend itself to the writing as well. I think they complement each other.
I hope so. Yeah. As long as it's fun, got to be fun. Otherwise, it's like a real job.
Do you find that? Do you think that if you were starting out today, would you approach it differently, or would you find it?
I haven't a clue how anybody could do it. In all truth, you must have seen the thousands of people who put up their Kindle editions because it doesn't cost you any money, who should never call themselves writers. And you've got this situation where half the world thinks they're musicians and half the world thinks they're writers, and they're probably not really, but then again, I've got a take gallery full of pictures which I don't consider to be very good art, so it would be very difficult to get started now.
It's quite a subjective thing, isn't it? But I do understand what you mean. There's a lot of people who maybe don't understand enough about literary style to put a pen to paper, or
they don't even know how the spell check works, though.
No.
But I think it runs through the arts on every level. But also now, I don't think the kind of editors that I had. I started back in 1981. They probably wouldn't have considered themselves to be as good as the previous editors when it came to giving people a chance to express themselves. And nowadays, I would never get away with it nowadays. They really wouldn't. If I was to present my first book nowadays, I think they would look at it and they'd just shake their heads and go, that's not like Harry Potter. We don't want that.
My final question is, you have, I understand, working on a new book, All Quiet on the Western Avenue, is that correct?
Yes, it is. Well done.
Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Well, I wanted to write the very last Brentford trilogy, and this is how I started in 1981, and I wanted to write the last trilogy, and you've got to think of a silly title, and I did start off with the first of the Lord of the Ring Roads, which I cannot understand how I'd missed that for the last 30 years. It's basically like the Lord of the Rings. It's one big book split into 3 parts. And that was a challenge because it ends up as one huge story rather than book length. It's more difficult to write now. When I was younger, there was never any problem with writing. You just sat down and did it. But the brain doesn't keep on doing that. I have to think now about what I'm doing. It's a dreadful idea, but I still don't know what will happen in the next chapter.
Is it? Are you very far into it? Do you have?
Is it what? Sorry.
Are you very far into it, or do you have much left to do to it?
Well,
just right at the beginning.
we have a ritual, which is I sit around for a month and can't write a damn word, and then I finally can write a damn word, and then everything in the world conspires for me not to have the time to write the damn words. That needs doing. That needs doing. That needs. It's. I have to say,
it's a really good time to get jobs around the house done, because he's looking for things to do that avoid writing.
Not now, though. Now I'm trying to do the writing.
Oh, I've got to stop giving you jobs now.
You've got to stop giving me jobs.
Okay, sorry.
I've never. I have to say, I earned a living from writing for 25 years. But I could never call myself a professional writer. It's not professional. It's kind of. It was once described in a review as a stream of semi-consciousness, and I kind of went along with that.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
Oh no.
I wouldn't, because
Thank you very much for spending the time.
Oh, an absolute pleasure.
And thank you as well for the donation to the library. Your I, Robert.
Have you got them all? Do you want some more? Have you the ones you haven't got?
I'm sure they wouldn't say no, but thank you.
Have the Alison Mars and the other one as well. They go to a good home. I have enormous respect and support for libraries.
Thank you very much.
And none of my books are these.
We do have some of yours in collection, and in fact, it's the first place. My favourite book of yours is from the Teddy trilogy.
Oh yes.
The Hollow Chocolate Bunny's The Apocalypse, and that's where I read it when I was younger at the Gilole Library. That's where I read the first of your books.
If I'm still alive when I've finished doing the Brentford trilogy, I will do the third Eddie Bear book, because it's unfinished. 2 books, isn't it? Right? It has to be 3 books, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I'll give you 2 of these.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you again for this interview. It's very nice to see you again.
You too. Thank you.